Well, SGI released some alarming statistics this week outlining seatbelt use in Saskatchewan. Ryan Craig has the details.
It has been the law in Saskatchewan for 40 years, but some people still have not gotten the memo.
I think it's a little bit surprising that when you see the number of people who are still getting ticketed every month for not wearing their seatbelt.
Throughout the years, there have been countless advertisements, public service announcements, and reminders of the importance of wearing a seatbelt. Yet, according to the latest numbers from SGI, 3,700 tickets were given out last year for not wearing a seatbelt. And in 2016, 25% of people killed in collisions in Saskatchewan were not properly strapped in.
A lot of times we think to ourselves, I'm just going a short distance, I'm not going to be very long, or we just forget about putting our seatbelt on. But we know that having a seatbelt on will protect you and can save your life inside of a collision.
When you look at, the benefits of wearing a seatbelt, it's the quickest, simplest, easiest thing you can do to increase your chance of survival in a motor vehicle collision.
Not only does a seatbelt protect drivers in a collision, but the penalties for not wearing a seatbelt can be very stiff.
Some of the fines associated with that, $175 in Saskatchewan or $155 in Alberta. There's also demerits involved. You can lose up to 3 of your safe driving points with that as well.
The good news is, over the years, SGI reports the number of tickets and deaths tied to improper seatbelt use has been trending down, but there is still a long way to go.
Honestly, we'd like to see that number quite a bit lower. We'd like to see it at 0. There's, aside from maybe a medical reason, there is very few good excuses for not wearing a seatbelt.
Ryan Craig, Newcap News.
People across Canada and even the States are helping communities in our own backyard. We have more on the shipment of supplies that traveled 3,000 kilometers to Onion Lake, Cree Nation. Here in Onion Lake, a big steel box has arrived with supplies to help the entire region. 13,000 pounds of supplies to be exact.
But anything from dry goods to clothing, household items, a lot of hockey equipment to school supplies.
And the entire project is a dream come true for a local resident.
If I can reach one individual, it makes a difference. It has that ripple effect. When you help one, you help more.
That help came from Kitchener, Ontario after a fortuitous conversation.
In talking to Linda, I discovered that she was confronted on a daily basis with individuals and families in the community who were struggling. I found a lady who desired to open a food bank / clothing bank where she could help members of her community, but also other communities in the surrounding area.
And these supplies, donations from all across Ontario and even the U.S., are already aiding the community in more ways than one.
There's a lot of people that I haven't really made connection with before. They're coming together as a group and working as a group. And it's building relationships, building the trust with one another.
And now, armed with a big steel box from which to distribute supplies to those who need it and collect further donations, the community will be able to strengthen those relationships. Well, a local charity is raising awareness this month for an issue that impacts people every day in our schools, workplaces, homes, and on the internet. Over the past decade, the Pink Shirt Day movement has committed to erase bullying. Christine Kanorik says the addition of local partners this year will help foster children's healthy self-esteem.
It's the 10th anniversary across Canada of Pink Shirt Day, so this is Lloydminster and District Co-op's kind of spin on Pink Shirt Day as the Kindness Wins campaign, and we're absolutely thrilled to be partnering with so many organizations in Lloydminster and area to focus on promoting the anti-bullying message in our community.
While the city of Lloydminster celebrates the event for one day each February, Kanorik says it's important to practice kindness throughout the year.
The rationale behind Kindness Wins is to encourage kind actions, inclusion, respect, empathy, love in our everyday lives, not just one day out of the year. So of course, wearing the color pink on February 28th is symbolic of the anti-bullying movement, but we wanted to take it one step further and show that kindness wins every single day of the year.
$1 from each Kindness Wins t-shirt purchase will be donated to Beyond Borders Circle of Change. Well, the Interval Home is having their annual one-day ticket sale this Saturday for the third Dreaming Out Loud Children's Ball, which will be Aladdin-themed this year. The ball provides families an opportunity to have a night out while supporting the Interval Home.
People have asked me in the past why a children's event when you operate a women's shelter, and people don't tend to think that, they think of women being the highest group of people that come in the shelter, but it's actually children.
Tickets can be purchased between 9 and 11 a.m. on Saturday at the Stockade. You can also purchase a table for a reduced price. Money raised will be going towards building a new shelter.
We have a reserve fund set up, so we have already started to fundraise for this new shelter, and we want to be prepared once we have the land to be able to push forward with the builds.
Anyone who purchases a ticket will also be entered to win 4 Edmonton Oilers tickets. The Children's Ball will be held on May 12th. Well, the report for Lloydminster Community Social Needs Assessment provided several important issues from the community. One of the strongest cases for change moving forward remains increased awareness, support, and services for mental health. Josh Ryan has more in this week's Healthy Living.
Lloydminster's status as a border city brings unique challenges economically and socially. The same applies for tackling mental health.
Very transient, a lot of blue-collar money here, so there's going to be specific social needs around that.
The full report of Lloyd Needs provided detailed statistics around this issue. Some of the most eye-opening stats included 32% of respondents said they were personally affected by a mental health issue, 38% were unaware of existing services, and more than 50% did not seek help. The 3 primary causes were finances, isolation, and feeling disconnected from the community.
When you look at local numbers like that, it's right in front of you. This is Lloydminster. These are your neighbors, your coworkers, your peers. People are struggling with this.
One of the report's recommendations is to keep finding ways to increase collaboration between groups and services.
The reality is we can't operate independently. There's too many agencies that work together to provide supports. It's not simply, I go and fix my arm or I go and fix my head. It's we're complicated.
The report also states factors contributing to mental health problems are largely the same in young people as they are in other demographics.
A lot of the times the addictions and suicide and that sort of thing, that's almost the end of the line, and we certainly need to help those people. And then the other side of the question is, how can we do the community preventative side so that they're in good shape before they run into a lot of these problems later on in their life.
And while the stigma surrounding this topic has improved in recent years, Radke says the gap between Lloydminster and other areas remains.
If you're in a big city and you have mental health issues, you can go across the city to a spot where nobody knows you. In a small city, that you don't have that luxury. So the stigma is certainly improving. I would say that we still have a ways to go.
Josh Ryan, Newcap News.
This is Newcap Sports.
The Lloydminster Bobcats are in a far different place than this point last year. The team may be hitting its stride at just the right time and has almost guaranteed itself a playoff spot, but there's still more to prove, beginning tonight with a team the Bobcats have struggled against since a season-opening win. Lance Phillips explains.
One word to describe Bobcats practice Thursday morning: light. And it should be. 3 wins in a row, including a 3-1 victory over second-place Fort McMurray, has given players and coaching staff lots to smile about.
Winning cures everything. Guys are excited, they're confident. You just see it out in practice. They're making plays out there and having a lot of fun, and it's fun. It's a fun time of year right now.
Yet a tough opponent looms Saturday. The Bobcats have a stiff test against arguably their biggest rival in the Bonnyville Pontiacs, a team that's bested Lloydminster in 4 out of 5 contests. But the Bobcats are a far different team than the one dealt a 6-1 loss in Bonnyville November 7th.
We're harder to play against. We got our own style of game kind of settled now. Not so much run and gun, but we play structured and we take it to teams.
They got some size and they play tough on pucks, and I think that's where we ran in trouble with them. We didn't have the compete level like Bonnyville did earlier on, and hopefully with the changes we've made and the personnel on this team, it'll give us a chance to win a huge game Saturday.
To some degree, every remaining game has importance, but Saturday's maybe more than any is critical, given Lloydminster's recent jump over the Pontiacs for 6th in the AJHL North.
Finally nice to catch them, but now we can't, let off the pedal kind of thing, right? It's go time, and they're going to be eager. It's going to be a tough matchup there, and it's a huge 4-point game. If we win that one, we're up 3 points, or we're down again, back to 7th, right?
We want to keep taking steps and heading up the standings. We're not far behind Sherwood Park either, and we'd like to keep moving up.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.
And a large part of the Bobcats' recent success has been the play of second-year forward Kobe Walker. The Lloydminster native's play has been inspiring, and late last week he was rewarded in kind. Walker is the newest Bobcat to ink his commitment to an NCAA school, signing with the Rochester Institute of Technology Friday.
They said they like small forwards. I have a couple down there right now. Small forwards, skill. They really like my work ethic.
He brings it every day, every game. In practice, he's the hardest working guy on the ice, hardest working guy off the ice.
Over Lloydminster's last 4 games, Walker has accounted for 9 points and has arguably been the Bobcats' most valuable player this season.
Kobe's got a tremendous amount of skill. Obviously, he's offensively gifted. Playing with him, you can give him the puck and just expect to get an assist. He's going to put the puck in the net kind of thing.
Not that he didn't work hard last year, but he's taken it to another level, and hats off to him, right? And he's earned everything. I'm so proud of him to get a scholarship. It just shows hard work. It works, right?
Along with Austin McGrath and Daniel Hilsendager, Walker is the 3rd Bobcat player in the last 2 years to sign a commitment to an NCAA school.